Hey everybody, and welcome to your Mondoid for this week. Now, before we get into it, I want to apologize that this is literally the first video you're seeing today, and I'm probably going to be around 6 p.m. EST for when you see it, but I just got home from work. Look, I know, it's bizarre, but I have a life outside of my YouTube channel. I wish I didn't. Trust me, I wish I didn't, but I do. And in that being the case, I apologize because things kind of don't always go according to my schedule as much as I'd like them to be. And if you don't know what my schedule is, I try to get videos up at 11 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m. if I have 3 videos for the day. If it's 2, it's just 11 and 3. But enough of that. Let's get into Mondoid. Now, this Monday, it is being written by Binky. And one of my favorite things about when blogs are written by this particular guy is that they're really fun to read. He writes it in such a nonchalant, laid-back way where things are really fun. Now, don't get me wrong, Will writes phenomenal blogs too, but this is almost comical the way he writes it, almost like a comedic twist. So there's a lot talking about this video, there's a lot talking about in this blog, but a lot of it is kind of just taking what they talked about last week and going into detail and just talking about sprucing up. So substance isn't as deep as I would like it, but there's still stuff to kind of devour. And if you're like I am and kind of going week to week for your Zomboid news, waiting more and more for when RC3 is going to hit, you'll devour anything you can get. So first thing they're going to talk about in here is basically Mendonica's, I think that's how you say it, Mendonica's, it's right here. Project Zomboid Worlderizer. Basically, what Mendonica has done, and I think it's awesome, he's created this mod that allows basically a random, kind of like a random world generator. It is literally a map generator of just a random stuff. It creates its own road networks and buildings, placements, and all this cool things. So you could kind of just, if you're like, well, I know all the maps front to back, what am I going to do? Well, you load up his mod and you can have a randomly generated map. Now, that's cool, particularly for people like me who consistently play the game almost every day or every other day. And, you know, if you want to play the game off camera or whatever, if you particularly just play the game a lot and you want something new and fresh, you could have a different kind of game every single time. Not to say that you don't have a different game every time you play it as it is, but this generally adds an extra layer of randomness and newness. I'm making up words as you play. So I think that's really, really cool. The other thing they're talking about is crawling zombies. Now, they touched on this last week, and I'm all for crawling zombies, mind you, because crawling zombies, in my opinion, are quite crux to the zombie kind of genre. So what he's talking about is the ability for them to bite. But and more importantly, they're talking about, well, okay, now that we have crawling zombies in the game, how do we make it look realistic? As opposed to, so basically what they're saying is that you swing your bat and you kill a zombie. It's going to die or fall on its back. When it dies, it usually falls in a particular position. If it becomes a crawler, it needs to fall a particular way because it can't fall on its back and then just crawl at you on its back. It doesn't do anything that way. So it kind of becomes predictable for the player. Say that you knock it down, you think you killed it, and then it becomes a crawler. Well, the animation is it's going to fall over and immediately land on its stomach, right? And that way you know, as the player, that it's automatically going to come gnawing at you. It's going to be a crawler. You better give it an extra whack. And they don't want that to happen because it becomes predictable. It becomes something that you're just looking for as you play. So they're adding animations where instead of when you knock it down, it automatically falling on its stomach if it's going to become a crawler, it falls on its back, and then it can have an animation where it rolls on its side and then becomes a crawler. So it adds, again, that kind of got to keep an extra eye out. You can't just immediately recognize when a zombie is going to become a crawler. And again, with a game like this, in my opinion, having that ability to, having the need rather to always have your eyes open, always have your awareness and wits about you, is phenomenal. You need to be able, in a game like this, to always feel like you could lose control at any minute. And one simple thing, like swinging and knocking a zombie on its back and not paying attention to it for the extra split second, and it all of a sudden rolls over onto its stomach and bites you, and that is the end of your game. Literally, you have a day or two, maybe just hours, depending, to live before you're dead and you are a zombie. You know, that kind of tension, that kind of horror needs to be in this game. And I like that they're actually taking the idea of, well, we can't just have the zombies immediately fall on their stomach because then players will know that they will be a crawler. They need to have some sort of uncertainty, and that seems to be what they're doing. So, frickin', that's awesome, awesome, awesome. I'm really happy about that. So that's what they're talking about here, and they're talking about. They go into detail. Do they have plans of having different kind of art styles where there are going to be zombies that have like missing legs and entrails hanging out? And they're saying, yeah, we did plan it in the old art style with pixels and kind of hand-drawn graphics, etc. But when they switched over to the new sprite system, that didn't become a priority. But they're saying yes, in the future, that is something they don't see why they wouldn't do. So that's cool. I mean, that's something small, but that's really, really cool. Another thing they're talking about is just sprucing up the skill point system, the way it looks. Now, last week we took a look at the skill point system that Romain has been working on, and again, I really like the idea of being able to work on your skills and progressively get better, whether it be by reading a book, and then the ability to say, okay, well, I have to choose what I want to be good at, because I can't be good at everything. It's not like old Zomboid. Things take time in the new one that's coming out. But this week they're just talking about making it more visually accessible to the player, making you realize rather what you have to work with. So obviously the one on the left here in the picture that I'm showing you is the is the old one from last week. Then one on the right is what he's been helping and working and sprucing up. As you can see, it's very clear there's a skill point available. Things just look a little bit cleaner, and a little bit better. And overall, it's not a huge change here, but it looks like it's a very solid step in the right direction. And they even say here there's still a few issues to sort out, as you see here, etc. The little chevrons, for example, indicate a skill that's leveling up faster than normal. And so just kind of talking about how are they going to make it visually obvious to the player without them having to look outside of that, what's working. So again, I'm all for it. The new skill system looks great. I love the idea of having to read a book every night, set aside time for your character to learn something, and then make it something you have to literally dedicate in-game days to getting better at. It's not something that is just going to get better quick. It's not something that's going to get better immediately. It's going to take time. It's going to take dedication. And I'm really excited to see the new skill system outward. They also give me a shout out here, so that's really cool of them. I don't want to hang on on that because that's just cool. I don't want to sit there and drool over it. So thank you guys. That's very, very sweet of you. I would give you flowers and a cookie if I so could, but I unfortunately live on the other side of the world, so that makes things a little bit difficult. So other things they're talking about is what are they looking to get into the game. Now, there's some kind of artistic things they're talking about here, but one of the things they're looking at is the ability to further customize your character, and simple things like facial hair for guys, glasses they have, chest hair, which we can scroll up to the top here, and you can actually see some chest hair here. Simple things like that allows for a much more solid personalization of your character, which is really cool. I really am all for that. But they talk about, well, what's the equivalent of chest hair for females? How do we make female sprites more customizable? And they were thinking, well, I don't know what we could do. I was thinking, my opinion, of course, is with a guy, you could give a guy long hair, short hair, whatever. But with a female, different hairstyles might be kind of cool. I would think, giving them different hairstyles, pigtails, or, a ponytail, or a bun, or short hair, or whatever. Maybe that could be the female's characteristic, or extra kind of customizable option as a female. Wouldn't that be kind of cool? That's my personal, kind of one-shot opinion there. I would actually like to hear your guys' opinion in the comments below. What do you think they should do for females as far as just more customization options? I think that'd be really cool. Other things they're talking about is kind of a cross-gender clothing. Like, if you want to wear a skirt as a guy, go for it. They're kind of just talking about making skirts accessible to both genders, as well as other things like blouses or tank tops or jeans or wife beaters or whatever. All of these things can be worn by both genders. So that's another neat little thing that I like they're doing. Again, a lot of artistic customization that they've been throwing into the game recently is definitely very, very welcome. Let's see. So aside from clothing, how much customization of characters are we talking? And this is what we're talking about. They talk about glasses, maybe new shoes, all kinds of different stuff. Skin tones, obviously. Stuff that just makes the character more personal to you. And this is where they're talking about males get body hair, but what about females? What do they get? And that's where I say my idea, maybe different hairstyles, maybe more options of hairstyles. I don't even know what else you could do outside of that. That'd be my guess. But hey, sound off in the comments below if you have an idea. And that's kind of the end of the blog. So, again, not a lot of substance here, enough to chat about for a little bit. Stuff to kind of whet your appetite as far as aesthetic things that are coming. But still, definitely something, and I appreciate, even if it's just little updates, I definitely appreciate the every Mondoid, I almost said, every Monday blog post that they put. It's definitely an effort that they have been putting forth for, 8 or 9 weeks now, and I seriously appreciate it because it just makes you feel like the game isn't dead, when we all know the game is far from dead, but there are those naysayers out there who say otherwise. So awesome. That is going to be your Mondoid for today. I highly suggest going to check out the blog for yourself, reading in detail all of these things. If you're at work and listening to me, then I'm very happy that I was able to at least help you out with the Mondoid blog. Go check it out. There's plenty of links to click on and check things out and videos and whatnot. So, as always, thank you for stopping by. I hope I'll see you guys next week. If you're new to the channel, feel free to check out other videos that I have. I will have annotations in the video for you to check out. And I will see you next time. Thanks for stopping by.